This is the Fast Break Podcast with Coach Zach Ross. I'm Denny Trimmer, and Coach, for episode number 5, we're on location, on site, big event. What's happening today?
We are at our annual golf outing. We are really excited to be here. It's a little chilly right now, but it's not October weather. I got my jacket on. I got 2 guys to my right that are kind of shivering a little bit. They're from Columbus, so hopefully we tough them up in T County right now. But we're excited to get this. We're excited to get this going. We got a full slate. We got 36 teams today. We got a lot of sponsors. We're going to be giving them some big shout-outs in the future podcast, but we're excited to get going today.
When you bring people in from out of town to golf in your tournament, is there any fear of them being able to navigate deer and hills and morning fog?
Well, actually, that's FaceTime me, and they were complaining about the deer and the fog, but hunting season's about a month away, and I know there'll be a lot of people in T County trying to help that problem out.
You will get to meet the law firm of Norris and Norris as a part of our double team coming up in the next segment. The opening tap has been brought to you by Jeremy Rager of RE/MAX Crossroads Realty. Jeremy works hard to make sure your real estate experience is memorable and enjoyable, and can help navigate you through the nuances of the local market. Personal, professional service is just a call or text away. 330-827-0656. Jeremy Rager from RE/MAX. Now, you get loose on these podcasts. You're like the star. You score all the easy buckets. So we brought in some defense, a front line. We're gonna call it the double team.
They're pretty good at defense.
Well, yeah. If you know anything about Central Ohio basketball, this is like the first family.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Royalty, if you will.
I would say royalty, yeah.
Hilliard Bradley head coach Brett Norris, and his son Loyola Chicago guard Braden Norris. Now, Coach, we're going to start with you. You're pretty good at this coaching thing. I looked down that you got 400-plus wins against only 160 losses at 70%. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
So great to be here. Appreciate you having us on. Obviously excited about playing in the outing today, and always good to catch up with someone like Coach Ross, who helped us build a program that we're really proud of in Columbus.
So Zach was with you from 2015, I believe. So Zach was with you from 2015, I believe, to 2018. You brought him on. You saw something in him. What did you like at first blush?
Well, I mean, the 2 things that would stand out. Number one is, you had a passion, for basketball, the game, coaching, and at Capital together, and it was clear, even with our middle 2 sons were involved in the camp, like his ability to connect with kids, to coach, to build a rapport, that the way we wanted to run our program, he was just a natural fit, and again, that passion. Call it instinct or a feel, whatever it was clear that the game was really, really important to him.
So at that point, can you look and say, okay, he's going to be a good soldier, but did you have the vision that, hey, this guy wants to be and can be a good, a successful head coach of his own program?
Yeah, I think, we've always wanted guys on our staff, particularly young guys, that strive to be head coaches. I think, guys that are wired like he was to have his own program someday, was going to have the work ethic that it takes to develop and to continue to coach. But it was clear, right from the outset that he had what it took, was really good as a teacher and a coach on the floor. And again, part of being an assistant is, you got to be a soldier, but you also want guys that are, putting their own stamp on the program. And I think Zach was always a guy that, that had a lot of different things that he could bring to the table and add to our program, and certainly was a big reason that we were able to get off to such a good start and build a program, like I said, that we're really proud of.
Bradley head coach Brett Norris is our guest, and Coach, you've had the success, you've got the pedigree, the numbers. play all of that out. Tell us maybe what Zach lent to over your career in your time with him, what he lent to what you're doing at Bradley now.
Well, this will be a cliche, but we've just so many great people that have been involved in our program. And I think, as good a coaching staff as I've ever been a part of, was that first staff that we put together at Bradley. And as I said, Zach was an integral part of that. And again, it's just a real passion for basketball that I think is rare at the high school level. Passion to learn, to grow. He's remained just there's a reason why we're all here, and some of our former players are here. It's that relationship that we built collectively, and again, Zach was such a big part of that right from the onset.
He has shared the story on our podcast about a hotel stay in Cleveland at some camp or something you're doing, where his core values kind of took birth, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it. Talk about that experience, kind of going back and forth and pounding through late night hours and helping him frame that.
Yeah, it was a collective effort. Coach Greg Alaco, who was our associate head coach for many years at Bradley, and Zach and I sat in a hotel room in Cleveland and really, just wanted to give clarity through our core values to what we really, wanted to be about, what we wanted to build our program around, and together with passion, grit, and honor, the four core values that we developed that weekend. And anybody that's worked in our program can pretty much talk about those values. Certainly without it's what we teach every day, and again, it's at the core of everything that we do are those four words.
This is the Fast Break Podcast with Zach Ross, and Coach, you've heard from a mentor, friend.
Yeah, I really enjoy him saying all these nice things about me right now. I really enjoy him saying all these nice things about me right now. I'm kind of just sitting back, sipping on my coffee, enjoying this, because usually I just get my balls busted, mainly in these conversations.
And I guess that's what I wanted to ask you. Is it always this agreeable? You guys are great right now. This is awesome.
Yeah,
these practices must have been delightful.
Instead of a 25-minute podcast, I think we're just going to do this for the next hour and a half. And we went to that Nike clinic up in Cleveland, and we obviously saw some great speakers, and we had a good time. But those hours spent just with a whiteboard and notebook and listening to him and Coach Alaco and just trying to be a sponge and soak everything in. And like Coach said, just finding an identity. We were already doing these things, preaching to our players about what helping that identity, I think, only furthered and enhanced the program that we were trying to build. And that's kind of where we spun off and in the programs that I've taken over and now here at New Philly with our core values of relentless, passionate, together. That's who we want to be, and we want that to be our identity.
Well, we bring in now to the double team on the Fast Break Podcast, Braden, Norris. Braden, hello. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Dude, good to have you. Obviously a standout high school player. You've gone on to do great things at Loyola Chicago, including taking that team to the Sweet 16. Phenomenal run. I'm going to ask you about Sister Jean later. On. But what I want to ask, too, is you get between these two guys, and there's a vibe and an intensity just sitting down at this table, right?
Yep.
What was that like as a young player coming up, A, and then B, how is that translated to what you're doing now as a player?
Yeah, coming up, especially playing for my standard to be met every day, and that standard was hard some of the time. But being with these two, and then as my dad mentioned early on, Coach Greg Alaco, there's so much to learn, not only in basketball but in life, everyday life. Whether it's about life after basketball or whether you play football, whatever. So many lessons that were learned during those 4 years at Hilliard Bradley, and then based on what I learned those 4 years, I took that to college. They build my foundation as a player and person, and even more past the foundation. There were so many things that translate to college basketball, and not only college basketball, but again, life. So many lessons learned, and I'm forever grateful for that.
So you've had elite coaching at the high school level. How does what you did in those practices and those games and those off seasons, how does that kind of equate to what you're doing now at the D1 level?
Yeah, super similar. Like I tell everyone, the Hilliard Bradley is ran like a college program, and even better than most college programs. My dad, I've had great coaches, but he's the best coach I've ever played for, and I'll forever say that. The standard that's held as to be an elite person and an elite basketball player, it would be the standard that would be met at any other game.
All right, this is the Fast Break Podcast. We're in the double team segment, Norris and Norris v. Coach Ross. Braden, I want to know, because people think Loyola Chicago basketball, the first thing, let's be honest, first thing they think of is Sister Jean.
Yeah,
give me a Sister Jean story.
Yeah, so Sister is unreal. She's going to turn 104 in August. Still going strong. She's a wonderful person. So she is around every home game. She'll send us, post-game emails individually. She's awesome that way. Super busy, just around the school. She comes in to our office every single day, working. As you said, first thing that people think of when they hear Loyola is Sister Jean. She is the face of the university. But last year we did an interview together, and the news was a little bit late, so it was just kind of me and her sitting around, and we had about 5 minutes to really have a conversation, and it was unreal. I mean, she broke it down individually.
She took advantage.
Yeah, she did. But it was really cool because, we see her before every game. She says the team prayer and everything like that. But to get that alone time for 5 minutes, and she broke it down, and she was on top of everything. So it was really cool for me to have that conversation with her.
Fantastic. Braden Norris and his father, Brett Norris, our guest on the Fast Break Podcast. Guys, I got a question for both of you, and I need you to keep it PG or PG-13, because I know there are some others. I need a story from each of you, something that you'll remember, that you hang on to, that brings a smile to your face when you think back to your time with Coach Ross.
It's hard to pick just one. One of my favorites clearly would be anybody that knows Coach Ross. All coaches have superstitions. This guy is on a whole nother level. As honest as I can be, it created extra anxiety for me, and I didn't need extra anxiety. But what I remember is he has I don't know if you're still doing this, but he would wear one sock inside out. And then, if we won, those socks didn't get washed, as I remember. And so it was it our second or third year? Our second or third year, we lost early in the year, and then we won 24 in a row?
Yes.
And so those socks did not get laundered through a 24-game win streak. So
they were definitely ripe. With that story, we played late in the year. We had probably won at this point 18. We played at Ohio Dominican. We win, have a really good win. I believe it was against Charles. Really enjoyed that one against them. And so we go up, and we have to scout the next game. So me, Coach Norris, Coach Alaco go up. And we're standing kind of in this press box area, and you've been in your dress shoes all day. What you want to do is you want to take your dress shoes off. So I remember I was like, okay, I'm going to take these off, and I go stand, and then Coach Alaco take these off, and I go stand, and then Coach Alaco looks at me, he's like, dude, you got to put your shoes back on. He's like, those are awful. So I think at that point, but I wasn't going to change anything. It was working. You ain't going to change anything from that.
To answer your question, yes, he's still very much the same, if not worse.
It could be, yeah.
Braden, what do you have?
So the summer of going into my senior year, me and Coach Ross started working out, getting an extra workout in before lifts usually. And I think this is when me and Coach Ross got really close. Our relationship got super tight. He had me in there trying things that I didn't even know you could try. Working on my game, working on my craft. It was a lot of fun working with him that whole off season. Again, like I said, we got really close, and things like that I'll cherish forever.
Where to you, Coach Ross? This is your show. You've been filleted here for a little bit, but honestly, the guys have been soft on you. They've been praises have been coming left and right. I want to give you a chance to return the favor. I know this family is special to you. Talk about the Norrises.
Yeah, I don't know if I can put into words what their family means. I'd like to have every family member on it at some point, but especially these two, just like being there all 4 of B's years, Coach Norris taking me on, being the mentor that he was to me. I always say, like, I felt like I went and got my master's and doctorate whenever I was able to coach for them, and I felt better prepared to go take on my own program. Even it was bittersweet to go take on my own program. Even it was bittersweet to leave. Like, I remember it was a really hard decision to leave that just because of the bond that we have, and like it rarely goes too long with one of us talking to each other. Again, me and B are super close now. We talk a lot throughout the season. Me and Coach, I'm always bouncing ideas off of him. Usually he tells me just to shut up and stop in the season, so he's always there for me that way. But I can't put it into words. I love their family. I would do anything for them, and I'm really grateful for my time in Hilliard. And again, that's like why we're going to continue to find ways to see each other and stay in contact, and why I live and die with the Jags whenever they play, why I live and die watching like Loyola State. So, I mean, there's a lot of stress and superstitions going on when you got that many teams you're invested in right now. So that makes it a little bit harder, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Guys, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks for making the trip up to be with us and to support Zach and Quaker basketball today. We really appreciate you.
Can we stop being nice now?
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
Appreciate it.
This double team was served up by Armor Sports. Armor Sports is a premier youth sports experience focused on developing character and integrity on and off the court. At Armor Sports, they utilize a more game philosophy that emphasizes life skill development. They want to partner with families to further develop the character and integrity of their children based on Christian values. Open to all, Armor Sports is a ministry of New Point Community Church. You can learn more online at newpoint.org/sports. Coach, it's the run out. Time to lay it down. Got to get out of here. This, though, is your dead period for high school basketball. You're going to explain that, and then we want to talk locker rooms. What's happening back to school? Just hit it. Let's go.
Yeah, we're finally able to get back into the high school. And we're full go to get after that team room right now. We've been in there. We're talking bases. We're laying out plans. Lockers are going in late August. I've ordered a flooring for our locker room. It's going to look sweet with our core values on it. We got signage. We have our alumni board right to my left right here. Hopefully we're going to have a ton of alumni sign our alumni to sponsor lockers. I sent an email out yesterday and got a great response back already. So just another reason why you love being in New Philly with that and the support that you get. So we're really excited what that team room is going to look like. I think that's going to make it really special, be a place where we can really highlight our core values, and especially with that culture wall that we're putting together. Obviously, you got that wall that we're putting together. Obviously, you got that connection with me, and I got to run all designs by you because nothing's going to be going through our program without the Dobo approving that. So really excited about that. It's good for our guys to have the dead period. I think I'm already missing being in the gym with them right now, but it's probably good for everybody. We got some guys going into fall sports, so good luck to all those guys as they get going and their scrimmages and everything. We'll start lifting here again with our guys that are not involved, and we'll start scaling it up, finding some other teams to play open gym with, and we're looking forward to a great fall for us and get ready for another fantastic winter of New Philly basketball.
Coach, you put so much in, and you go full speed. Put the brakes on, and just all of a sudden, everything stops.
Yes. I like the dead period. I think my wife gets excited about it because there's very few dead time in basketball. Some people will say there's an off season, and she quickly replies and says, well, I don't know what you're talking about. There is no off season. But it is time where we can connect with the family, and I am enjoying that, doing some fun things, and with that. But I think there's going to be a point where she kind of looks at me, and she's kind of ready for me to get out because of all the nervous energy going on. But hopefully that nervous energy, I'll be put to work getting ready for the baby coming in October. So that'll be a good use of my time.
What kind of score is it going to take to win this outing today?
The outing today, I don't know. I know I had some buddies last year. A lot of people were questioning them, so they put up a good number. They were 18 under. I think 17-18 is going to be a good number today. I think that'd be the number to beat. hopefully we can get Trimmer, a.k.a. Roger Maltby, out on the course with some on-course interviews with people, and we could have a crowd on 18 if it gets close.
Well, regrettably, Roger Maltby has to golf today, but we will do some post-match interviews to have some content for some podcasts coming up. Guys, we want to thank you all for listening. This Fast Break Podcast is a lot of fun for us to do, but we really, when we get your feedback, well, we understand that you enjoy listening to it, so we're going to keep spitting it out for you. Guys,
thank you. Thank you to everybody. It's awesome.
That's going to be a wrap from the outing for the Norris family. For Coach Ross, I'm Denny Trimmer, and we are